All righty. Benny, what episode is this?
15.
Episode 15 of the Real Ones podcast.
We're back.
We're back and we're better than ever.
Yep.
What a day today.
Oh, what a day.
What did we even do today?
Some great stuff. First off, let's shout out Operation Shoebox.
Operation Shoebox, sick. Tell them what they do.
Today we had a chance to go help out Operation Shoebox, which is a nonprofit who basically puts together care packages to send to the troops overseas.
And Valentine's Day is coming up.
Valentine's Day is coming up, so we put together little Valentine's Day candy care packages.
Yeah, we're putting a promo video together for them.
Yep.
We also had a shoot this morning.
We did.
We had another shoot after that.
We did.
And we're just doing it.
We are. And now
Awesome.
we have this wonderful podcast that I'm
100%.
very excited to get into.
TP, who do we have on today?
Dantee Ramos.
Today, we have Dantee Ramos, a news personality for MTV News, Blavity, and The Shadow Act. Dantee Ramos is a passionate multimedia journalist specializing in film, entertainment, beauty, and fashion. A proud Afro-Latina native New Yorker, Dantee has a variety of roles on TV and streaming platforms such as The Source, Global Grind, and Where Is the Buzz? In 2020, she wrote her self-produced original IGTV series, The Hot Seat, featuring guests such as Lil Ray Howery, author Joel Leon, and Miss El Salvador Zuleika Solar. The series covers a range of topics from black culture, social media trends, political points, games, and open conversation. Everybody, welcome Dantee Ramos!
Yeah.
How was that? It only
Thank you.
We're not going to tell anyone, but that took a few takes.
It's okay. People don't need to know that.
Yeah,
People don't need to know.
Exactly.
So how did you first get started in all of this, in multimedia, and like what's your background?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I do not have a linear path. I was like one of those kids who always, like from the beginning, necessarily didn't love school, but was always really good at speaking and reading and writing. So really, when I left high school, it was kind of like a deal with my parents. Like, you go to college and we'll let you like figure out your dreams. So I started at Penn State. I hated it. I ended up leaving. And I went right into like Netflix and acting for like background roles and things like that. I ended up getting like my SAG-AFTRA card, which allows you to like get more bigger auditions. And then from there, after I did that, my parents were like, it's time up. We gave you a deal. So I went back to college. I went to A.K.A. University. And from there, journalism took off for me. I started doing like the college reporting on there, and then the Source magazine had an audition. I skipped like a day of classes to stay a day in the city to go audition, and it took about 3 months to hear back from them, and I finally got my call back, and that was like my first initial role of like doing stuff with what I want to do in my career.
What was that feeling like when you got that first call back?
Actually, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it because
Yeah.
I waited for like 3 months. I'm like, oh, I didn't get this. There's no way I like that long passed by. I got it. So I didn't think I got it. When I got it, it was in the middle of a class in my final, and I was like, no freaking way.
I'm skipping the final.
I'm like, whoa, no way. I'm like this shy from graduation. So it was, I didn't believe it at first. And then when it happened, I was just like, thank you, because like I said to you, I really didn't know in terms of like school what I wanted to do. I just always knew that I wanted to do something creative. And so the fact that that was like my kickstart of everything, I was like, okay, I think I'm going in like the right direction. This ball's going in the right direction, I think.
Did you finish school after?
I
you
did. I ended up graduating cum laude, honors, like media honor society. I did the thing. I was like, okay, if you guys want me to go back to school, I'm going to go out hard. Yeah. And don't ask me ever to go back. I don't want to. And that's really, I did end up graduating though.
Did you take anything away from school that you brought into the first job?
Yeah, a lot of it actually. If it wasn't for my professors at A.K.A. University, I don't think I would have the confidence. I don't think I would be able to ask and formulate the questions that I am able to formulate as an interviewer. I mean, you guys know what it comes like to writing questions. And honestly, I think the fact that they gave me a voice, I think anyone as a creative, maybe you guys can relate, we may compare ourselves to other podcasts and journalists and things like that. So I wasn't really sure coming from A.K.A. University, not a well-known school for journalism, where I would be and where I was going. So I feel like I took a lot of what my professors in A.K.A. University gave to me and poured that into my career, whether it be confidence, the skills, just like my film history, because I do film interviews. So like film history helped me with that, you know, things like that.
What were you doing for Source at first?
reporting, like straight up reporting. I had to produce my own scripts and then go in front of their camera and say, like, this is what's hot this week. You know, we have Meek Mill doing this, we have Jay-Z doing that. And that was my big step into not only journalism, but also learning how to script write and produce.
Do you remember the first time you were in front of the camera for Source and like kind of what was going through your head then?
The first time I was in front of Source, I actually had a partner. His name is Zay Diggs, and they had us together. And that was one of the best auditions I ever had, probably because you do have someone to feed off of. It's not just yourself. And I just remember feeling like I had met a friend that day. So it was very, very natural. It was fun. I didn't feel like some auditions that I go into now where you're very high-strung anxiety. It was very different energy.
Awesome. So after Source, how did you kind of progress your career from there?
Networking. I know a lot of people, how can I say, like, I did a lot on my own in 5 years, but in order to get certain things, it is all about networking and like who you know. And sometimes that does suck because we don't know everybody. So how am I supposed to get into that room? You know what I mean? So networking helps. And so I feel like I happened to just go to a lot of events, and I met someone who became my mentor at the time, and he opened a lot of doors where I really was his lackey. Like, $5 in my account, and I'm all over the city, bustling big boxes for him to his movie parties. And that allowed me to get in the right rooms with the right people and network, and it gave me a lot of opportunities that led me to Global Grind and like some of my first big interviews and getting sent out to California for the first time.
What was your mental when you were in those positions where you were able to network yourself? And you might spend a whole day grinding away doing like grunt work, but then you're in a position where you get to represent yourself. How, like mentally, how are you going into those situations?
So in the beginning, probably more like imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I even belong here.
Yeah.
As much as you pep talk yourself, you're like, do I really belong here? Now it's more of like, girl, get in that room. You know what you got to do, and do it. It's more of like, I know what I need to do now. Not much nervousness, more comfortability. But I won't lie that I think I still have a little bit of like that imposter syndrome, because I think like no matter what level you get on, you're always going to meet people who kind of look at you like, why are you here?
Yeah.
No matter,
you're always trying to get to that next level.
and
right?
then when you get to that next
You're
level,
like,
there's still people who've been there longer than you, who have more accolades than you, or are about to get into another level that you're trying to reach for. So I feel like no matter if you're a creator, an actor, a singer, a journalist, we're kind of all in that realm of that field. And so I feel like going into, I'm way more confident. I love going to network, you know, but I do have those moments sometimes where I'm still like, woo, all right, we made it into this room, but we still got a lot of more work to do to get into the next. So it's always kind of just like, I go into things with a game plan.
What's more nerve-wracking for you, going in, like networking in front of a group of people you don't know, or getting in front of the camera?
People.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the camera. I'm comfortable. I am so comfortable on the camera. Like, it's just something that comes over me. People, because not everyone is going to like you.
Yeah.
You're going to appease to some people, and you're gonna like not appease to some people. And I think that unfortunately with networking, you want people to like you so you could get into the places that you need to be. And I hate opportunistic. Like, I hate that, like, oh, I want them to like me so I could get in here. I'm very genuine. So I feel like that's why it's also hard for me, because when you're a genuine person, it's hard for you to take off a mask or something to try to fit into what that networking realm is. So sometimes I lack in that. So that gets me more nervous.
Do you have any tips for like networking?
Yeah, for sure. I think that in terms of networking, be yourself. Because if someone sees something they like of you, they're going to want that also when you work. And I say that because where I am now on MTV, what they see on Instagram, they challenge me like, hey, we want that on camera. Be yourself. That's what people want to see from you. In terms of networking, also be confident. Like, you have to be your biggest fan. I know it's very hard. Like, again, we talk about comparisons and things like that, but be your biggest fan and be like, this is what I do. This is what I can offer. How can we work together, collaborate? And I think also, do your research. I think many people only look for the celebrity that's in the room, but they don't realize that the man behind the celebrity is 10 times more powerful.
The producers.
May only have 2,000, 1,000 followers, and you think you want to follow the 229K follower. Like, do your research, because you might be in the room with someone who's not flashy, and that's the person you need to know.
Yeah.
So I feel like networking comes down to getting out of your ego, being yourself, but also doing the research, because you never know who could be there, and appreciate the moment too. Because sometimes you go in there, you may not network with anyone, but you had a good time.
Yeah.
I kind of want to rewind a little bit. So you know Bishop.
Yeah.
Shout out Bishop.
He produced my Dantee's Inferno. He helped me with like a lot of more so directing, and I just love him.
Awesome. Do you remember like the first thing you produced on your own, and kind of like what was going through your head then?
Yeah, it was during COVID. I think a lot of us stepped into our like producing and creating bag when we went through our pandemic, and that's when I started Dantee's Inferno. And I did not know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah. For the viewers that don't know what is Dantee's Inferno?
It was my IG live show, and now I'm trying to get it more into my YouTube, trying to switch over. But it's a talk show. Basically, you know, come in, have celebrities or people that I'm interested in, creatives, business owners, and shine a light on them, as well as like play fun games. And the reason I do that is because I feel like everyone has a story.
Yeah, definitely. That's why kind of why we're doing this too.
Yeah. And I think that so often we always give celebrities these moments to talk, but there's so many underground people who are just as amazing
100%.
and genius and creative. So I feel like that's why I started it. Also from my town in Franklin, Somerset. Shout out to Franklin High School. We have a lot of talent in our town. And I feel like there's a lot of directors now who came from Franklin that work with like SZA and like Ray Shremmerd. And there's journalists like me who are doing big things. There's writers that are doing their thing, putting on for Jersey. So I'm like, why would I not want to do that?
Definitely.
And I like to talk, clearly. So.
Did you have any struggles like producing your own show? Like what obstacles did you kind of face when you were like, oh, I'm going to start producing this?
Yeah, I think I'm still kind of going through it. Being able to get the publicist to allow me to just do it with Dantee's Inferno and not needing, oh, is this on Blavity or is this on a different outlet that you're working with? I've been doing this come next month, 5 years. I have a lot of amazing artists and actors and even like government officials that I've interviewed. So I think that was my place in terms of like, how do I get it where I get these artists or I get these people to just want to be on with Dantee's Inferno and not me with another brand? And really building that genuine audience as well as connection with those publicists.
Definitely. How do you maintain so many different relationships with different brands at the same time?
It's hard. It's so hard.
Yeah.
I think you guys know that. I mean, I'm a one-man band machine. I do it all. Like, from my managing, like that's me. Like I do that myself. So it is really hard. I think the best thing I could say is that like Google Calendar is one of my best friends. Really trying to stay disciplined. I guess email is your best friend. And I think I can say that the publicists that I do have a good relationship with, they understand that I'm just as busy as they are. And so when things aren't always quick, fast-paced responses and stuff like that, we give each other grace in terms of those things. So I think that's how.
Do you remember like back in the day when you first started interviewing?
Yeah, my first interview, this is when I was doing my associates too. So this is fast forward before Penn State. Still trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Got my associates, and I was writing for a guy who had his own, and it still is out right now, Hot Zone USA under Jason Robinson. And he gave me my first like writing position. And I went to like Broadway doing like Keke Palmer and them. And it was amazing. But my first real interview was Spike Lee with The Source. Like, I mean, on red carpet, like fast paced, get this out, is going on TV. That was my first one with Spike Lee, and that shit was hard.
How did that go for you?
Did it go well?
only
You look back?
imagine.
It's cute. It's a cute moment. I saw the video. Basically, he knew the team of The Source, so he's very picky about his interviews. Like, he doesn't want people who don't know his work.
Yeah.
So he just came and he's like, oh, what's up? Said hello to me, and I'm interviewing him, and he's like laughing. He's like, oh, they threw you into the sharks, huh? And I'm like, but I'm floating with the sharks, Spike.
Like throwing a baby in this swimming pool.
Seriously. I'm not drowning. I'm floating. Thank you. And I really was, because that was my first interview. I wasn't dressed. Like, I had just came off it was a mess. But I made the best out of it. And it was awesome that Spike Lee was able to give me that time, and he was gracious with me. And it was for Black Klansman, like my first big red carpet for a major movie. And I just remember feeling like embarrassed at the moment because I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. But then afterwards you look at it and like, I did that. And he was nice and like it was cool. It wasn't as bad as what it seems, and you learn from that. Yeah. So yeah.
Do you have any tips for new interviewers like ourselves? In general?
I actually have a workshop for that, but I'm gonna still say I'm gonna let y'all know.
Some free game right
Tips
here.
for that, I would say again, go back to your researching.
Yep.
I think that like, so for example, if I do a press junket, I know that me, you, and everybody else, we watch the same movie. We're probably gonna ask about the same type of questions because of whatever that movie's topic is.
Yeah.
Think outside of the box. What is there a way that you can ask that question differently than what the normal person would do? Also, was there something that stood out to you in that film, that conversation, that interview that you watched, and now they're here on your show, that now you can be like, ask that question about something that you want to know about, but in a very like, I don't know, like a whoa. Because what I love is when I ask questions, people are like, that was a great question. Oh my God. Ooh, they're stumped on it because I know that I asked something different. And so I say, do your research, think out of the box, come prepared, have fun. Don't be so hard on yourself. Like make it a conversation.
Yeah.
And also I would say it really comes down to just being comfortable. Like some interviews will just be because is the energy just not fluid. Like, you know, some people are just not interviewers. But if you can allow someone to get comfortable, that's amazing. Like when I did Ed Norton, can you compare, contrast those experiences for yourself?
I mean, I was a kid then.
He does Fight Club, but he's a very, very timid personality. I got him to open up so much, he was laughing, and that's what matters, is that you get someone to feel comfortable enough to have a conversation with you, then they'll tell you all the beans, and you got the best interview.
Where'd you learn that, like to kind of break that wall down with people?
I will say, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think that comes from just like my upbringing. Like my parents are both very social people, outgoing people.
Yeah.
I'm a very outgoing person. So I feel like I bring that to my work. Some people love it, some people don't. Like it's gonna work or it's not, you know what I mean? And I will say that 9 times out of 10 it works in my benefit, where a celebrity is like, woo, that was fun. You're great, you know, like because they're comfortable at that point. I'm not coming in just like, oh my God, it's so-and-so. We are on the same panel right now. We're doing our thing and let's have fun together. And I think that really matters.
Do you have any tips with like interviewing celebrities? Because for me, like I went to Fashion Week the last year, and I was just like, super nervous walking to the room. Like, oh, can I get a photo of you? Can I do this? Do you have any tips on just interacting with like celebrities?
Treat them like they're you. I'm gonna be honest with you. As many celebrities that I've met or you will meet, some do. Some of them will be like, do you know who I am? And other people are like, glasses on, hood on, shh, leave me alone. Like I'm chilling. Treat them like people. They love that. Yeah. They want you to ask them like what their favorite foods are and things like that. They don't always want to talk about all of their projects and works. And also give them the respect that like they don't want a phone right in their face. Maybe ask like, is that okay?
Yeah.
Because think about if you were like I don't think if you were in the mall by yourself and someone randomly, oh my God, I saw you on YouTube. Of course, you might be originally like, oh my God, this is so cool. But at the same time, what the hell? Like you're in my space. So I think it's just really treating them as people, and just being genuine. I think all across the board, no matter where we go, what industry it is, you meet a lot of fake people. Yeah. So when you're genuine, your light shines through 10 times more. And celebrities see that too.
Is there a specific industry that you love the most? Because it seems like you interviewed a bunch of different people.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I don't necessarily have one. Like I love music, grew up doing Broadway and singing my own, and then I also love film and I studied film history. So I think I love it all. It's just I love the stories. I love conversation. So I don't think I have a field that I love more industry.
Is there a difference when you're interviewing someone who's maybe someone that you're trying to get the people to know more, that you're trying to bring some light to, compared to like someone that everybody knows, already well known? Is there a difference in the way you're asking questions?
Yeah, because I think that when you have a new artist, a lot of it is getting them to relate to the audience. So when you're trying to relate to the audience, it's like, where are you from? What's your story? Why are these songs, written? As opposed to someone who's already big, where if I'm interviewing Lotto and she has been out for maybe about, like she's been out for a minute now, but we're saying in prime time, maybe like the past 2-3 years, and she's just now getting Grammy nominated, you're going to talk about how does that feel now after everything you've done? You get what I'm saying? It's a little bit more of like underground work, getting to know a person, and then when someone's a celebrity, it's more of like, you've done the work, so how does it feel to be here now?
Yeah.
And can we kind of reflect back on those things that you learned from, just like how we're doing here? It's kind of like a tales of old as time type of thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen anyone's career just blow up? Like interview them back in the day, and then their career all of a sudden blows up, and you're like, oh, I didn't interview with them back in the day.
I want to say yes. I feel like yes. Actually, you know what? In my town, Spencer Lee, he's like under Ray Shremmer, Ear Drummers, and when I interview him now, he's freaking doing Coachella. He's all over the place. He's doing his thing, and he is an Asian rapper, and he's from Franklin. I absolutely adore him, love his work, and I wouldn't say just because of me. I think that he's been putting in the work. He's been doing smaller interviews, coming to people like me, getting those audiences to look at him, and I think that over time it continues to build that momentum,
Damn. And now fast forward to today. You're at MTV now.
Yes.
Awesome. How did that all come about?
Long process, y'all. Just when I was about to give up, because journalism is very hard. It can be, and a lot of people be like, I've never heard of a struggling journalist. Well, you did today, okay? Like,
Today's
It's because
the
you never heard
day.
of a journalist. Literally.
it's hard out here.
Yeah, totally.
Everyone's fighting for the same positions. Everyone wants to do the same thing.
Yeah.
There's only a limited amount of outlets that could be at one red carpet at the same dang time.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard out here. How I got to MTV was basically putting in the work, hustling. And one day I got a message from a casting director, and she said, I've been following you for 3 years now, and I feel like it's time for us to get you. Let's have an interview.
Yeah.
So I had an interview with her, just a Zoom call, see what happens. And that Zoom call flourished into 7 months of me constantly getting callbacks, auditions, go to the city, do a Zoom call, do all these different things. My birthday was September 15th, shout out to the Virgos, and I got a call while I'm on vacation, like, hey, you have your final audition when you return back from DR. So I came back and I booked it. It was about 7 to 8 months of auditions and callbacks and just praying and manifesting and keeping the faith. And I got it.
Was it like a roller coaster of emotions the whole time?
Yeah.
Like some days you were like, definitely gonna get this.
Yeah.
Some days you were like, no.
Other day I'm like bawling, like,
Yeah.
they don't want me. Like, they should have chosen me by now.
Yeah.
Also because a lot of the people that I'm auditioning against, they're also my friends or like associates, people that you see all the time, and I'm aware that I'm doing that. So I'm like, why would you not want to choose her? She's amazing. You know what I mean? And then at the same time, I'm looking at myself like, why would you not want to choose me? I'm amazing. You get? So it is a whirlwind of emotions. And then when I got it, the first day after, like my first day taping, I cried. Like I even posted, like it was happy tears. Like it was just all happiness. But a lot of that hard work and all that emotion of like, sometimes doubting yourself came all up, and it just felt so good that like when you put in the work, it may not be your time, but it's gonna come on time.
Definitely.
I feel like a lot of people grind so hard and they quit right before it's about to get good.
Yeah.
They can't hold off long enough until it all pops off.
Yeah.
You know?
And I feel like I was one of those people.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was like my testimony, not to get all holy or whatever, but I feel like sometimes we have these lessons, and that was my lesson. Because I had such a trajectory of like, I've been doing great things prior to MTV, but it wasn't on a consistent basis as opposed to my peers. So a lot of times I'd be like in those plain, boring avenues, like, what am I doing? Why? Like, what is going on? And then finally when that happened and I knocked on my door, I realized like, we really do each have a journey for our own, and I understand why I'm not doing what she's doing, and I understand why I'm not doing what he's doing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing at my time, and I'm happy to be in the building. I'm learning, because eventually, y'all, you're gonna know who I am.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna know who I am.
100%. It's crazy too, because I feel like a lot of people, they have so much self-doubt, and they always compare themselves to their peers.
Yeah.
And it brings them back so much. It brings down your morale. It brings down
Yes.
everything,
Yes.
honestly.
It's tough. I mean, it's not easy, you know, especially with your phones nowadays and anything. It's
Everything. I mean, I think I even talking about that, I think at times when we talk about levels or comparing to your peers,
Yeah.
like a lot of my peers are driving Mercedes Benz and like I'm driving a Nissan Juke. She's cute. You know what I mean? Like
Nissan's in the
but I know that in time that I will be in a certain place, but I agree with that. Like it's so hard at times because although I'm feeling myself and where I am, there are little details where I'm like, I don't really have that fits the whole picture. But maybe that's not supposed to be my picture just yet. I'm not saying that it's not gonna happen, but I really do feel like sometimes we may not be prepared for the big things that we want at the time. So that's why I say I'm happy that I'm in the building and I'm like, learning what I need to at MTV because once I master those things, I know I'm going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. Once you realize you're on your own track, your own pace, and it doesn't matter about anybody else's journey, it's just about you.
Yeah.
Then you can really enjoy like the moments that are more stressful. You're like, it's okay.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I've been proven wrong before that this is all going to work out.
And it seems like you're enjoying the journey, honestly.
Now I am. I will say that maybe in the last year and a half, now I am enjoying the journey because I've had those moments that we were just talking about of just like, now I know where I am, that I don't need to compare. I think that you have to really find that place to feel like you're finally enjoying the journey.
Yeah. And you're like an entrepreneur essentially, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you get the high highs and the low lows and it's you never know how to deal with it, you know?
Yeah.
And people at times could think like, oh, you're doing something you love. Like it must be just all
Always
rainbows
happy.
and sunshine. Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's not true. And I agree with that. I thought about that today, ironically, like how they always say, when you're doing your passion or your dreams, you'll never
Work a day in your life.
Never-
And I'm like,
That's
someone rewrite this right now. Maybe I need to because that's not necessarily always true. Like I
Definitely.
love what I do. I am living my dreams. But there are days where I'm like, I should have been a doctor. I should have been a nurse because we don't know. And even in terms of like opportunities, I do a lot of stuff freelancing. So sometimes I'm net 30, net 60. Like it's not always glamorous.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And it's hard because of social media nowadays because everyone sees all the good. No one really posts bad things about themselves on social media. And people only see for the good. So whenever they see like, oh, so everything's great, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's
right.
crazy.
And then when you pour out something more intentional or like you're showing that emotion, they're like, whoa, they don't even know how to take that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And it's true
exactly.
because like social media is truly just clips of our happy moments. I don't think anyone's going on there, unless you're on TikTok really, but going on there telling and exposing their lives and their like darkness. It's not very rare. Me, on the other hand, I try to be very honest with some of the things that I go through. And I think that's why I've been able to build some of the genuine community of my following. But at the same time, I agree with that. Like social media is truly just there to show off the good stuff.
Oh, 100%. Do you have a balance with social media? Are you always on social media? Do you turn off your phone sometimes? Like, because you're probably researching things all the time, right?
Yeah, I think it's to the point that I almost freaking formed carpal tunnel off of it. That's how terrible
Yeah.
it is. Because even if I wanted to break, it's right. Like I have to constantly be up with the news. So in a way, I kind of have to still be on social media if I don't want to see like what's the like new trending story. Did I miss something? Damn, I could have caught that before another outlet caught that because if I was on my phone. As well as just like also looking at like trending reels. How am I gonna make content for my own brand? And I try to find a balance. Am I great at it? No. No. I think sometimes I overconsume social media. But I think my balance is probably like once I'm off of work and once I'm done doing my research, I will completely turn my phone off. Or I always have my phone on Do Not Disturb, and my family and friends hate that. They hate it, but I have to. Like, I need to.
I'm the same way.
Do not disturb me,
After
please.
like 8, 9 p.m., I'm like, that's it.
I'm done.
I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm
Not
done.
here for me.
What kind of content are you consuming just like for fun?
For fun, I think like Keith Lee, his like eating videos and doing like the, you know, I love him. A lot of fashion stuff. Like I love fashion. And interviews. I know that's so weird, but like I love watching interviews.
It's probably like watching a game for you, right? Like, oh, this person did this, or like I would have done this.
I
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
love it. Like Zane Lowe, when I just been catching up with now that Jason Lee's been doing interviews for Hollywood Unlocked, I've been watching those. Like I just thoroughly enjoy watching interviews and podcasts. So like that's something that I like to do.
Is there anyone that you watched as a kid or nowadays that you kind of pick from?
As a kid, Ryan Seacrest, Lala Anthony, and Probably AJ and Free also as well from 106 in Park on BET.
Oh, that's crazy. I was just talking about them the other day.
Yeah, those, I would say those are my 4 that I always like tend to really.
Yeah.
And Ryan Seacrest first, because it wasn't until in high school where like E! News was really doing its thing, and Ryan Seacrest and Juliana Rancic were like the face of it, that I was like, ooh, this looks like something I would do. And then when he started producing the Kardashians and like taking it further than just journalism, I was like, that's definitely something I would do. Like, I think about having my own production company and investing in shows or podcasts that I think are cool all the time. So I think Ryan Seacrest, Lala Anthony, with her just being a Black and Hispanic woman like myself in the industry, and she now has gone on to acting and other things, I'm like, that's definitely something I want to do.
Yeah.
And then Free and AJ, they were just like, who didn't love 106 or who didn't love TRL and Carson? You know what I mean? Like, those were the people I watched and I think made me feel like that's what I want to do. If I don't do acting, like they're singing, that's what I really want to do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're putting a voice to like your culture right now, which is amazing. Yeah. What kind of inspired that at first? Because I know it's probably hard to talk about like political stuff like right off the rip.
I think what inspired it was probably my own journey, like me being Black as well as Salvadorian. My father is an immigrant. He came here, I think, when he was about 5. My mom, born and raised in Brooklyn. Having my own story where, like, sometimes I don't always fit in everywhere. And I think anyone who's multiracial or cultural kind of deals with those things, trying to figure out where you fit. That I was like, you know what? I'ma just do what I love, which is music, arts, culture, you know, news, and try to, like, form, and it worked because after that, like, I literally have a Black and Hispanic audience. So it's like, I think maybe more of like an identity thing for me. That's how it kind of really started in a sense with that. If that answers your question.
100%. And what kind of topics are you touching upon, like with these interviews?
Everything. Like it just depends. Like say for example, if I'm doing like, I don't know, Ryan Seacrest, and it's about his new show that he just produced on his production company. I would talk about that as well as maybe why he wanted to produce things and stuff like that along the lines. But I don't stop at anywhere. I do fashion, I do music, I do political, I do mental health. That's really, really big for me. I just do everything.
Awesome. What are you doing for your mental health?
Mental health? What am I doing for my mental health?
Give us the regiment.
I'm going to be honest with you, meditation. I love to meditate, but I like guided meditations because my voice is in my head. This be all over the place. So I need a guided meditation.
You got a Calm app?
I don't have a Calm app. I used to. And then I don't know why, but I like deleted it probably because of storage. That's probably why. So I started just going on YouTube and doing guided meditations. Love them. And I do them for like each chakra, like your root, sacral, all of those things. I'm so into it. Yoga. I love me some yoga. And also audio or like video journaling. So I like to go on my Mac and like say what I was feeling or how I'm doing. I also like to write, but again, like the carpal tunnel a little bit. So I think audio or the video sometimes is a little bit easier. And then you can also see and feel the emotion sometimes and be like, whoa, I came from that. And I need to get back in the gym because the gym was really, really good. I hate the gym. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like, I love it. But you do feel a difference in terms, even if you just like walk for 15 minutes.
Do you ever look back to your video logs and be like, oh, damn, I was really going through it?
Yes.
Clip that back.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, like, I always say, like, I could probably make a movie out of the things that I've gone through because as a creative, I'm going to say, whether you're a freelancer in anything, I know you go through it. I know we all go through it. So yes, 100%. I look at things and I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was just showing Ben the other day the first video I made. I was like, what was I thinking?
Were you cringing watching it?
Partially, yes. Like 25% of me was cringing, but then the other 75 was like, you got out there and you did it.
Yeah.
Like,
you did it.
There was so much. Like when I first got into it, I'm sure for you too. Like, you're like, what are people gonna think of me? Yes. Like when I first picked up a camera, and I like went to like the first thing I shot was like basketball, and I was at a game and there's people there that know me. I'm like, I'm going all the way up in the bleachers. No one's gonna see me because until I know this is gonna stick, I don't want anybody knowing that I'm trying to find what I'm trying to do in life.
Yeah.
And then, but once you get it, you're like, who cares what they think?
There's a literally trending reel right now on Instagram about that. Like, you caring about something along the like if you're stopping yourself from creating content because you're embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like you're literally only stopping yourself from like growing.
Yeah.
And it's the truth. There's so many people who post 2 things and now they're viral and they're everywhere on social media. So I agree with that. And that only comes down to comparisons too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not easy.
Yeah. 100%. What do you see trending now?
In terms of what?
In terms of like reels, like Instagram and like things like that.
Well, on TikTok right now, the trending thing is carousel pictures. Like these apps don't know what they're doing. They all backward. Like TikTok was supposed to be for video. Now they want us to post
Yeah.
pictures. Instagram wants you to post like 3 times a day to even get a good algorithm
crazy.
and video. It's like another job.
Yeah.
So I feel like I see a lot of things trending, whether it be songs. We all see it. Like right now, the slipper one, like the chanclas moving, and then like going on my way to whatever. Like
Did you do that one yet, Jeff?
Not yet. No,
Oh, no.
You
Not
should.
even right.
You got
should.
it.
On my way to film another podcast.
This dude has a catalog.
I
of
love it.
TikTok.
I love
Right
it.
after the
Don't look
pod.
me up. It's embarrassing. I don't want anyone
I
seeing
will.
it.
Yeah, no.
Now I am going to.
Please.
I'm gonna have to do that.
So what's next for you? So you're in MTV right now. Where do you see yourself going?
I think I'm a big dreamer. So realistically, I see myself in a lot of avenues. I want to write a child's book. I want to be a host for a major show. I want to produce projects, or at least executive produce, pour my money and invest into projects that I think need to be seen and heard. I want to act. I know that's on my list for sure. Animated. I do little voices and crap. Like I'm telling you guys, I have big dreams. I
Yeah.
don't stop myself. I don't know how all of these are going to intertwine, but we've seen it. Like, I mean, almost every celebrity we know does multiple things.
Definitely.
Right? So why can't I?
Yeah.
I just need it to match with the time and the finances.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, it could all happen. So I think that realistically where I see myself in the long run is just bigger, elevated, longevity, and still humble.
100%. It's crazy that like I feel like your whole career has kind of came together organically, and
Yeah.
I think it's gonna just keep on going from there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Your mouth to God's ears. Yes.
Should we hop into some rapid fire?
Rapid fire.
All right. Oh.
We're going to throw some
And if
questions
you just
at you.
answer it in like a sentence or less.
Okay, Dante's Inferno in the rapid fire. I like this.
All
Ooh,
right.
Yeah, Joe.
You go first.
I
You
go
want me
first?
first?
Yeah,
All
you
right.
go first.
Favorite interviewer?
Nessa Nitty.
One person you hope to interview in the future.
Beyonce.
Favorite
Ooh.
food?
Papusas.
Favorite place you travel to?
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Favorite designer?
Ooh, that's hard. Probably Hanifa.
You said favorite food?
She's at Papusa, right?
Yeah.
Same? What is that for?
It's a Salvadorian. It's like basically a stuffed tortilla with like beans, cheese, and either your choice of meat. But I always do
man.
like pork. It's amazing. It's amazing.
No, I'm so hungry. I got
So good.
we haven't ate yet today.
Yeah, I know. That's normally the case.
Favorite music artist?
Oh my God, that's hard. But at the same time, I say Beyonce.
Favorite actor or actress?
Okay. Favorite actor. Wow, that's a really good freaking question. I don't have one because I love so many.
Yeah.
I love so many. One. Okay, I'm gonna say Jonathan Mayers right now.
Ooh.
Ooh, favorite person to come out of Franklin?
Ooh, that's a good one. Favorite person to come out of Franklin, me.
Ben.
Dream interview. That's Ben, by the way. Ben's over there.
I met Ben. Hey,
Ben does have a mic in case he ever wants to say anything.
Yeah, I was curious about your, but you asked for like your favorite fashion label, because like I'm a big Rick guy, so.
I
Those
like. There's so. The thing is, I love fashion, so that was really hard for me because I would
Yeah.
also say Mugler. I love him.
Yeah.
Favorite red carpet experience?
My favorite red carpet experience would have to be the Black Girls Award when I got to do like Brandy and Angela Bassett. It was just so many beautiful Black women on that carpet.
I know my question.
Ooh,
Your children's book.
yes.
What is it? What would it be?
It would be about being Black and Hispanic in the world, like diversity.
Yeah.
If you had to go back and tell your younger self a piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't be so hard on yourself. Love yourself. You have all that it takes to do what you want. You don't have to look like anybody else.
If you had to tell your future self something, what would you say?
Thank you. I'm proud of you. I don't know if we could curse, but bitch, we did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
If you could relive any year of your life, what would it be? Which year?
Probably somewhere like around like, I'm gonna say like 8, 9, 10, and it's probably gonna be very sentimental this period, just because I would want to spend some time with my grandfather again.
We're running through.
Oh my!
Let's be fair. This is the most rapid fire
Yeah,
questions we've ever
I
given.
love it.
It's normally like
Love
5,
it.
but Joe's got a lot today.
I do.
It's making me look like I got
If
none.
you called your best friend right now, how would she describe you in one sentence? Or he?
Opinionated, fun, and I'm gonna say real and direct.
What's your favorite quote?
What's meant for you will never pass you by.
Biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration is probably my mom.
Ben?
Mine
gonna
are like,
circle?
I was like, I don't know, go to drink at a bar.
Go to drink at a bar. Since they don't have Douce, it's gonna be Hennessy.
Ooh,
Just
Henny and
straight?
I'll do shots of Henny. I don't mind at all. Like I just went to Hooters and had shots of Henny. The girl was like judging me for that.
Coke? Have you ever had a Henny and lemonade?
Yes.
Fire.
Love it.
Fire.
Yeah, I can't do light liquor anymore. I am so close to 30 that it just does not sit well with me. So I'm doing dark now.
Hit it with the Henny.
So thank you, Dantee, for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Where can the people find out more about you?
Dante's Inferno on Instagram. You could also go to dantesinferno.com. That's my page. And you can find me on YouTube and Twitter and TikTok. Same thing, Dante's Inferno.
Awesome. And leave us off with a quote right here.
And my quote for the day is, what's meant for you will never pass you by. Stick to your plan. You got this. And much love.
That was Dantee
Awesome.
Ramos, everyone. Thank you.
Amazing.